Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're going to talk about something we've all felt. Why does our paycheck seem to just evaporate? And we're going to cover the one simple flip that can completely change your financial future.
Okay, let's just dive right in. You know the feeling, right? Your paycheck hits the bank, you see that beautiful number, and for like 3 glorious seconds, you feel rich. But then, reality kicks in, and by the middle of next week, you're wondering where it all went. If you felt that whiplash, trust me, you are not alone.
And here's the thing that the experts keep pointing to. The problem isn't necessarily the size of your paycheck. It's the order in which you handle your money. See, most of us treat our income like this lump sum we can just chip away at, instead of having a real strategy. And that one little mistake is costing us our future.
So seriously, where does the money go? It feels like magic, but it's not. It's actually being bled away by these small, almost invisible costs, these silent wealth killers that just add up to a fortune over time.
Okay, take subscriptions for example. If I asked you right now how much you spend, you'd probably guess, maybe $86 a month? That's what most people think. Well, a recent study found the shocking reality. The average person is actually spending nearly triple that. That's over $3,200 a year just vanishing on stuff you might not even be using.
And it's not just subscriptions. We have to understand all the culprits here. There's lifestyle creep. That's where every time you get a raise, your spending magically expands to eat it all up. Then you've got the subscription trap we just talked about, death by 1,000 little cuts. There's the payments mentality, which is so dangerous. That's where you ask, can I afford the monthly payment, instead of asking, can I actually afford this car? And then there are the hidden investment fees that can silently just eat away a quarter of your life savings.
And this quote just gets to the absolute heart of the problem. If your plan is to save whatever's left over at the end of the month, you are setting yourself up to fail. Because it's just human nature. There will never, ever be anything left over. So if our own brains are working against us, how do we fight back? Well, it's not about having more willpower. It's about changing the entire system.
So, what's the fix? Well, this is where we get to the core idea. Wealthy people just don't do things the same way. They take the whole script and they flip it on payday. They use this powerful concept called eat the frog. It's a productivity idea that basically says do the hardest, most important thing first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way. And when it comes to your money, that ugly, intimidating frog that you've been avoiding, it's paying your future self. And this slide right here shows you the fundamental difference in action. Look at the left side. That's the path most people take. You get paid, you pay your bills, you spend money, and then you cross your fingers and hope to save what's left. Now look at the right. The wealthy path is the exact opposite. You get paid, and the very first thing you do is move money to your investments. Only then do you pay bills and spend what's left over. It's the same income, just a totally different order of operations. Here's the mindset shift you have to make. Your investment account, your savings, they aren't afterthoughts. They are the very first bills you pay every single month. The first transaction on payday isn't to your landlord or the car company, it's to future you. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the sources lay out a really clear and actionable system. And it's not about being restrictive, it's about being intentional. This is your new game plan. Step 1. Pay yourself first. Automate it. Have at least 10% of your income go straight to investments before you can even see it or touch it. Step 2. Build a cash cushion, your emergency fund. This turns a potential crisis into just an inconvenience. Step 3. Aggressively attack your high-interest debt. You can use a method like the debt snowball, where you pay off the smallest debts first for psychological wins, or the avalanche, where you hit the highest interest rates first to save the most money. And finally, Step 4. You live on what's left. You force your lifestyle to fit your goals, not the other way around. Now, look. This part might require some tough choices. It could mean getting a roommate when you don't want to, or driving an older car, or living in a less trendy neighborhood. It's not always what we want to hear. But the cold, hard math of building wealth is unforgiving. It really doesn't care about our excuses. But here's the good news. If you follow this system, you eventually hit a critical milestone. It's a very specific number where the entire game of building wealth flips, and it starts working for you. The billionaire investor Charlie Munger famously said this because he understood the incredible mathematical power that's locked inside that first six-figure milestone. He knew it's the absolute hardest part of the entire journey, but it's the most important. So why is that number so magical? Well, at 100 grand, assuming a pretty standard 8% return, your money is now generating about $8,000 a year, all by itself. That's nearly $700 a month that just appears in your account while you sleep. Your money has become a second income stream. It's a machine that's finally working for you 24/7. And you can see the power of that compounding right here on this chart. Look at that first bar. Getting to the first 100K, that's the grind. It might take 6.5 years of pure saving and discipline. But because your money is now helping you, look at the next bar. The next 100K comes in just 4 years. And the next one after that comes even faster. The time between these milestones keeps shrinking because your money is finally doing the heavy lifting for you.
Think of it like this. Reaching that first 100K is the difference between fighting for every single dollar and finally letting the momentum of your own money build your wealth for you. It's the moment the boulder you've been pushing uphill finally reaches the peak and starts rolling downhill, all on its own. The game shifts from defense to offense.
So, it all comes down to this. Your next paycheck is coming, and you have a choice. Are you going to keep paying your landlord and your car company and all your subscriptions first? Or are you finally going to pay the most important person in your life, your future self? The answer to that one question, well, it determines everything.